Tonight I have a Rocky Patel Vintage 1999 Connecticut wrapper, and we'll get a little bit of a description on this. It says each Rocky Patel Vintage 1999 cigar has a perfectly balanced blend of Dominican and Nicaraguan long filler tobaccos, all aged 7 years, highlighted by a mild 1999 vintage Connecticut wrapper. The cigars are aged 120 days after rolling, and unlike the Rocky Patel Vintage 90 and 92, are not box pressed. A sensationally smooth, toasty, medium-bodied cigar that hits on all cylinders. Well, great description. I hope it lives up to it. But let's get this puppy in the flames. All right, try lighting this up. Do this a little bit more. Nice taste of this. Well, I always enjoy a cigar with a light wrapper. And go out and watch my video for the night and see if I can come up with a story appropriate to the video. And I want to show you, got my cup of cheap Merlot. Take a drink to get me started. But also what I do with it, sometimes the wrapper starts coming apart, like I did on my last cigar. And I just put my finger in the wine and just paste it back down. Much better than spitting on your cigar and trying to get it wrapper stuck. Anyways, this works very good. I'm watching a show called The River, and it's about a family trying to find a lost husband and a father on the Amazon River. So we'll see if I got a little story about rivers on this. I want to show you my ash so far on the Rocky Patel. Well, first, the taste is very good, very mild, very enjoyable, but the ash is almost perfect. I hate to knock it off. It looks so good. I think I will enjoy this smoke. The Rocky Patel Vintage 1999 is a very pleasurable smoke. As you can see, the burn is nice, very even all around. The wrapper didn't come apart. No tar out of the end. Very enjoyable smoke. I would rate this around at least a 92. Quite a pleasure. So I was watching the show The River. It made me think about my past experience on a river. In I'd say 1967, 1968, we were in Jonathan Dickinson Park in South Florida, and I had a little skiff that I carried on top of my car, and had a 5 horsepower motor in the trunk. So we took that up to Jonathan Dickinson, and we put that boat on the Loxahatchee River. And we decided to just take a leisurely trip up the river. We'd never been on this river before. So we put the boat in, and we're just slowly cruising. Of course, with my 5 horsepower motor, that's all you're going to do is slowly cruising. We're going up the river and enjoying the scenery on both sides, and the, the birds and the trees, and just, you know, look like a lush jungle situation, just like in Brazil. And we went up about, I would say an hour up the river, and then we decided to come back. Well, we turned around and started heading back, in what looked like continuous jungle on both sides of the river. When we turned around and headed back, suddenly there's forks in the river. And gotta keep this thing going. And now I'm confronted with forks on the left and forks on the right. But these forks that are feeding into the river are about as wide as the river itself. So I come up and I said, okay, I think this is the way we came back, because I was totally confused how we got back. And I went up one fork a while, and it's got narrower and narrower, and I said, this isn't gonna work. And then I come back down and then head up what I thought was the main river, and continued on, and I found myself going up another fork of a river, and that got narrower and narrower, and I had to backtrack. Well, we finally found our way back through the main stream, but we almost got lost in all of these tributaries leading up. And it was just interesting how going down we didn't see one tributary at all. They were so camouflaged. We're turning around, it was tributary after tributary. Luckily, we got back and they didn't have to come out and search for us. Well, it's a perfect taste right down to the nub. And as you can see, a great burn all the way around. That adds to the pleasure of the smoke. Rocky Patel, I salute you. Vintage 1999 Connecticut wrapper.